All right, so we're back, and we've been doing this whole series with the LPot community about being alone,
Yeah.
and kind of taking that and making it a positive thing.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of, I think for a lot of people, it's easy to think about it as like, oh, I'm alone, poor me.
Right.
But the LPot community has a really great perspective on how to make that a positive thing,
Mm-hmm.
and really to kind of like to nourish yourself in that experience.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of dig into some of their resources today and
Yeah, let's do it.
see what kind of tips and advice they have for really cultivating a nourishing life
Mm-hmm.
when you are on your own.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome.
So, I mean, when we talk about nourishment, I think it's easy for people to go right to like food.
Yeah.
Food, water, shelter.
Right. Yeah.
But the LPot community is talking about something much deeper than that. They're talking about nourishment on like an emotional level, a mental level, even on like a spiritual level.
Yeah. Like what is it that makes you feel whole?
Yeah, exactly. So they're talking about things like reflecting on past experiences that have been really fulfilling for you.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about creating a vision board, to kind of give yourself a visual representation of what you want your life to look like.
Uh-huh.
And even writing like a personal mission statement.
Yeah.
What's your purpose? What are you here to do?
Yeah.
And those are all really powerful exercises to kind of get you thinking about what nourishment means to you.
Yeah. And, once you have that kind of picture in your mind, like how do you start to like actually live that in your daily life, especially when you're living alone?
Yeah. So, I mean, they talk a lot about the importance of routines.
Mm-hmm.
When you're living by yourself, it can be really easy to just kind of like let things slide.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stay up late, sleep in,
Totally.
not really have any structure to your day. But they're saying that having some structure can actually be really beneficial.
Right.
For your well-being and for your mental health.
And gives you a sense of stability.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it can actually make you happier.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're talking about things like, starting your day with gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Just taking a few minutes to think about what you're grateful for.
Yeah.
Having a consistent morning routine, a consistent evening routine.
Right.
Scheduling in things that you enjoy. Making sure that you're making time for the things that light you up.
Yeah.
And even just like scheduling in time for self-reflection,
Yeah.
Just taking a few minutes each day to kind of check in with yourself and see how you're doing.
Yeah. Those little things add up.
They really do. They
Yeah.
really do. And then they also talk a lot about creativity and passion,
Yeah. Yeah.
Why are those things important when you're living alone?
Yeah. I think it's easy to get kind of like in a rut when you're alone.
Yes.
And you're not getting as much external stimulation.
Right.
So it's important to find ways to stimulate yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where creativity comes in.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's about finding things that allow you to express yourself, to connect with yourself, and to bring joy into your life.
Mm-hmm.
So they're talking about things like, writing, painting, gardening, cooking, any kind of creative outlet that you can think of.
Yeah.
And they're not saying that you have to be like a professional artist or anything. It's just about the act of creating,
Yeah.
just for the pure joy of it.
It's about like engaging in that part of yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when you're living alone, it's really important to have a healthy relationship with yourself,
Yeah.
because you're spending a lot of time with yourself.
Yeah.
So if you don't like yourself, that's going to be a problem.
Right. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah. So they talk a lot about self-love and self-acceptance,
Yeah.
being kind to yourself, forgiving yourself, and challenging any negative thoughts that you might have about being alone. Because it's easy to fall into that trap of thinking like, oh, I'm alone. There must be something wrong with me.
Yeah.
But that's not true.
Right. Right.
Being alone can be a really beautiful and enriching experience.
Absolutely.
If you approach it with the right mindset.
Yeah. And I think that's something that the LPot community emphasizes a lot, is that like you can turn that alone time to something really positive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then finally, they talk about prioritizing your well-being. And that's really about taking care of yourself on all levels.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally, emotionally.
Right.
So they talk about things like eating a healthy diet, getting regular exercise, practicing mindfulness or meditation, getting enough sleep,
Right.
all the things that we know are good for us, but that we don't always do.
Yeah. Those are the hard ones.
They are. But they're important. And then, they also touch on some broader themes that are important for well-being in solitude, like nurturing meaningful connections with others.
Right.
Creating a comfortable and supportive home environment. Pursuing continuous learning. And embracing your independence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's really about creating a life that supports you and nourishes you on all levels.
Yeah. So it sounds like if you're listening to this and you're thinking about like how to make the most of your alone time, really focusing on all those different facets of well-being.
Yeah.
And, finding ways to nourish yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, even spiritually.
Yeah.
Like finding that sense of purpose.
Exactly.
That's really the key to like transforming that alone time into something that's actually really enjoyable.
It really is.
Yeah.
And, if you're interested in learning more about this stuff, the LPot Community has a ton of great resources on their website. It's at http://www.lpots.com. You can also reach out to them via email at lpotsonline@gmail.com. They have a YouTube channel and a Discord server as well.
Cool.
So yeah, if you're looking for more information or community, definitely check those out.
Awesome. So before we wrap up, I just wanted to ask you, like, what's one small thing that someone could do today to kind of start cultivating a more nourishing experience in their alone time?
I think a really simple but powerful thing is to just start a gratitude journal. Just take a few minutes each day to write down 3 things that you're grateful for.
Yeah.
It could be anything, big or small.
Right.
But just focusing on the good things in your life can really make a big difference in your overall mood and well-being.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, this was fun.
And we will see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.